Hey y'all, I just wanted to check in and say hello and talk about what's going on with Instagram and shadow bans and what experience I have had with them, what I know, what I don't know, things like that. The first time I got shadow banned was last year, in the early part, in the first quarter of the year. Um, it was for posting a picture of a child's skeleton holding a automatic weapon, and the caption said "all ready for school," and somebody was offended by it to the point of reporting it, which resulted in it being removed, and my account being shadow banned. And it was the first time I had ever experienced anything like that. And what I experienced was a rapid, immediate, basically an overnight decline in engagement. So I went from getting like 200 followers a day to then losing like 40, 60 followers a day. And this absolute terrible engagement lasted probably around a week. I switched over to Twitter, and on my Instagram post, it would just be the post and with text that said, if you want to see my new post, go to right here. And I might have had the URL for my Twitter page in my header, although I'm not sure. I don't remember. Anyway, so that helped a tiny bit in terms of growing my following on Twitter. I gained overall that whole process probably a few hundred new followers, but Twitter's a real finicky thing. I don't think it's really too great for image sharing. It's not for that. So people don't use it for that, and I understand that. I don't get great engagement on there, but it was just something somewhere else to post, um, so that I could kind of, I don't know, jumpstart my engagement again. So yeah, why was I doing this? Basically, online, if you search the term shadow banned, lots of different things will come up. But one very common thing that comes up is that Instagram itself, they do not recognize the term shadow ban. They act like it doesn't exist. And the thing is, this very well may be, and I'll tell you why. Um, the thing is that at Instagram, for all we know, the algorithm is responsible for pretty much everything, for your growth, for your decline in growth, for all of your engagement, and things like that. So, hypothetical situation: an account posts a picture of something offensive, kid holding a gun, with a very offensive caption, all ready for school. And so when the offended person reported the image, the algorithm now says, okay, I should probably keep my eyes on this page because somebody's reported offensive content. That means before that, I had never been reported for any kind of offensive content. There was no reason for the algorithm to even look my way. After that engagement with the disgruntled or offended person, now the algorithm says, "Hey, I'm gonna keep an eye on this troublemaker here," and so there goes the drop in engagement, because how the algorithm deals with troublemakers is it punishes you by hiding you from the public eye. And how it does this is it takes you off the explore page. And the explore page is where you want to be, and that's how you get most of your new followers, and that's the happening place on Instagram. How you get there is by having engaging content and also by using hashtags. That's a big part of how hashtags work, is by putting you on the explore page with other hashtags and things like that. And if people follow certain hashtags, your content will appear, yada, yada, yada. Okay. So, the second time I was shadow banned was earlier this year in March, at the end of March, when a certain Instagram user accused me of plagiarizing their work. I'm not gonna talk about the name of the user or anything, because they simply don't deserve the attention. So the way that I got the shadow ban the second time was the person told their followers that I had plagiarized a certain image, and they had their followers attack that certain image, and that image got removed with a copyright claim or strike or whatever. I got an email like a few minutes after my post went down saying it went down for these reasons, and you don't really get to reciprocate. The only thing it says when you get this email is something like don't reply to this email. Also, if they tell you if you can contact the person who filed the copyright thing against you, if you can contact them and settle it with them, you basically, they are the only people who can withdraw the copyright claim. You can present evidence. I think I was allowed to present some evidence of me not copying, but I don't think it went anywhere. From my recollection, it's a little foggy right now because I was so just goddamn angry. Basically, if somebody files like a copyright strike on you, or they get enough people to attack your page or an image, and it's wrongfully being claimed, you have no way of really doing anything about it. So that tool is really easily abusable, since Instagram doesn't have a huge customer service. They don't have any customer service. Their company model is such that they've never provided customer service, and they don't have to, because, I mean, look, it just works. They don't have to, and they don't care. What are you going to do? Stop using Instagram? No, you're not. Neither am I. Because at the end of the day, it is a very valuable goddamn tool. It's very, very valuable, very powerful. It's just not run super well. God knows why. Anyways, so back to the black listings and the shadow bannings. And so the third time I was shadow banned is the most peculiar. It happened like 2 weeks ago now, when I went into my settings, and I somehow found this form that allowed me to fill in the form and like attach images and like a really in-depth copyright like claim kind of paper kind of work thing. So I was like, oh right, this is great. Like, I can really prove that this guy or girl or whoever is, really stealing my shit. And so I get everything together. it asked for like ID and all this crap. I was like, all right, great. So got all this package together and I sent it off. And like an hour later, it came back and they were like, "Yep, this person's page has been removed. La di da. They were plagiarizing you." And so that's when I posted to Instagram in a story like, "Oh look, I finally got this biter. He's been stealing all my stuff," and people were like, "Yeah, cool." And then the very next day, I noticed just like a sudden like just drop in engagement. My engagement was still recovering from March at this point, and it was only just starting to get better. To put it in perspective for you, before March, I was gaining around, let's say, it was around 1,000 followers a day, every single day, 1,000 followers. This was like January, February of this year, and when that March copyright thing took off, I dropped down to getting like maybe 200 to 400 followers a day, and that was going up and down, wavy gravy, up until, like I said, up until like 2 weeks ago, when I had just started repairing it. Like my ideal amount was 7,000 followers a week, and I was just getting it to about 4,000 a week, and so I filed that copyright strike against the skull phrases, and everything went through, completed it, and then within a few days, I was losing followers that in my analytics or whatever on Instagram, the numbers, like where it shows you your growth, I had for the first time ever actually gone negative on a weekly follower growth. Instead of my like anything in the plus, like plus 1,000 a week or anything, it went down to right now currently it's at negative 560 a week. Negative 560 followers a week for reporting somebody who was stealing my work. This is what Instagram's algorithm does. It doesn't differentiate, I guess, between the person who's stealing and the person who's creating the content. Both are punished. One is punished by getting their privileges revoked. The other is punished by, I mean, it's almost fucking just as bad. Sorry, I don't mean to swear. It's just I get pretty frustrated with this. And yeah, so the worst shadow ban I've ever had in my life on Instagram, actually going, like I said, negative in followers, was because I reported somebody plagiarizing my work, legitimately plagiarizing my work. I'm talking about this guy was taking just screenshots of my pictures and removing my watermark, sometimes going as far as to like really getting in there and like scrubbing it out. And I mean, most of what I was trying to say is most of the time they would just crop it, but sometimes they would get a little bit more intricate and like go in and rub it out. And granted, my work, the signature, the watermarks, not difficult to remove. It's black and white. There's not, there's no gradients. And if there are gradients, it's pretty rare. And I usually don't put my watermark there. So yeah, to be honest, it's easy to get rid of it. But the thing is, you shouldn't be going around getting rid of people's watermarks on their art. It's just not. I mean, it's not something an artist should have to worry about. But unfortunately, it is. Unfortunately, it is. So, sign your work always sign your work. That's the moral of that story. Ah, yes. One thing I forgot to cover when I was recording this video yesterday is how does one get rid of a shadow ban? And to the best of my knowledge, there's a few ways. So I'm just gonna list off everything I've learned from the internet about what you can do. So if you're experiencing this kind of engagement / shadow ban trouble, the first thing you should do is go private, because this will, I don't know exactly what this does, but what it allows you to do is to see if people are still actually adding you on Instagram, which is really helpful, because when you're shadow banned, you're only losing followers, you're getting negative engagement, and you can't really see where you're losing them from unless you have some sort of special app or something. So yeah, the best thing you can do is go private for a few days, and also don't post anything. And also, if you do post anything, use minimal hashtags, maybe even none, and make sure they're completely safe hashtags, because apparently there's certain hashtags which are associated with certain themes that the algorithm picks up and will hate you for it. So either no hashtags or just very safe hashtags. And then yes, the not posting. Not posting, you can, I've heard that 3 days is a good minimum benchmark to not post. I've heard that, yeah, anywhere from 3 days to 2 weeks. In this current situation, I was losing followers for 2 weeks. I think if I had gone private, I might have been able to curb that a bit earlier, but I kind of forgot about it. And when you're a business account, you have different privileges. Like you can link your products to your store immediately if they're uploaded to Facebook as well. You get that little shopping bag icon on your posts. You can only do that if you're a business profile linked with like Facebook and yada yada yada. So yeah, since all my commerce and everything hinges on my engagement, I kind of had to turn that around. So yeah. Anyways, what else can you do to get unshadow banned? Not too much. Yeah, basically go private. Don't post. Don't use hashtags. And then when you do start posting again, just try your best to avoid, again, like tainted hashtags, and try to post original quality content, because that's what people want to see, and hopefully your engagement goes back. I don't know if the algorithm can be truly reset. That would be really great, because it feels like once you get shadow striked once, it feels like it kind of stays with you forever. I know some accounts, like Rob Israel, he's on like a permanent shadow ban, it seems like. And another buddy of mine, Stephen Vogel, he posts a lot of rad content, but a lot of it is politically charged. So I think that polarizes some people and makes them feel inclined to report or complain, or people get all weird about all sorts of shit nowadays. So yeah, there might. It's what it comes down to is it's all censorship at the end of the day. It's all censorship. It's all just bull nonsense. All right, well, that's it. Anyway, I thank you all for your support. Thank you all for listening, and I'm gonna finish this up here. But you have a great day.
You better not show that, guys.